Well, we're in Paphos on Cyprus, and we've taken the public bus, and we're at the Tomb of the Kings, which is an archaeological site close to the town of Paphos. It's a tourist town. A ship docked there for the day. And Angela, what's your first impressions of these tombs that we've just seen?
It's amazing. They seem to be, well, I don't know how large they are, but it seems to be quite a large area. And what amazes me is the fact that they were excavated and constructed a couple of thousand years ago or longer, and with no modern equipment whatsoever, just by hand, and the rock hewn out and the pillars constructed from the solid rock.
Yeah, just basically from the bedrock, isn't it? And you can just see at the site here sort of some of what they've begun to excavate. It's early days yet. I think my tour guide last week told me that they'd only, of the entire area down here, Paphos, they've only excavated 10%, they estimate, of what is there still to be excavated. So all the land that we're looking at now in the distance, right on the shoreline here, beautiful blue sea, it's very, very, very picturesque. 10% is excavated, and another 90% remains to be excavated. Probably a whole chunk of that is underneath the town itself, so that's got to wait for a future generation.
I'm interested to, in the future maybe, to see a recreation or diagrams of what they feel the original uses were. I know it's for burial, but also which areas were used to house the actual coffins or bodies, and what else was often, I think they used areas for storing the things that people would need in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, just to answer some of those questions, a couple of almost baths down there. They could be for burial, but I rather suspect those are for washing and preparing the body, or laying out the body.
Yes.
Because carved into the side of the rock, you can just catch a little glimpse of it down there, behind that pillar, are little chambers. And I've seen other chambers here where they'd slide the bodies in.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But these are quite extensive, these catacombs here, and they go further than we can actually see from this vantage point. Mm. Let's go across the other side and look at the other one.
Right.
Now here we are, just not too far away on the other side, another tomb, rather similar in a way, another wealthy family that would have been buried here. You can see part of the excavations, more lead on between the pillars there. There's another chamber that goes quite a way, and down there where those people are standing, there's another chamber behind them, and I think there are more in here. So this is just like the central atrium or courtyard, I guess, of the burial chamber. What were you thinking about those pillars, Angela?
I'm amazed how beautifully smooth the pillars are, and they're slightly ridged or ribbed.
Beveled.
Beveled?
Yeah, it's a sort of beveled effect, isn't it?
Well, I'd say a ribbed effect.
Ribbed, yeah. There we go.
And whatever they used, whatever chisels or implements they used, they're so beautifully done. They're so straight, and I'm amazed at how
spared no expense, did they?
I can imagine. and what I always think about is that slaves were used, obviously, many. And I think in those days they tended to be expendable, so I'm sure many lives were lost during, like any building work. of this magnitude.
Well, it's not quite the pyramids, but
No.
it's got some impressive features, hasn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
It's a lovely place. There are not too many tourists here
Very
today.
peaceful.
It's very
It's
peaceful,
beautiful
yeah.
today.
Yeah. And the city kind of just surrounds it. You might see that on the horizon, but the city's sort of built around this archaeological park. Presumably there'll be more excavations going on even at this site, but at other sites very close to this there's lots to be done still. It's all quite low key, which is rather nice. It's not in your face. And always there's a wonderful sea on the horizon.
Yes. Beautiful, beautiful.